There are two setup modes in Bridge, Basic and Extended. This video will cover the Basic Setup mode. The Basic Setup mode will allow you to start using Bridge the day you install it. You can use it purely as a setup tool, or you can use it while you do takeoff. Basic Setup mode will help you build a custom set of traces that are key to your estimating system that you can then use over and over across all jobs. So let's see how this works. I have the Bridge window open. I'm in manual mode, and I'm going to select the assembly list from estimating. And today I'd like to use the slab on grade takeoff, assembly 105. Now in this case, what we'll do to start is rather than do takeoff from eTakeoff, you'll notice I have no trace set up to use the 105 assembly. So I'm going to use Bridge to help me create it. So I simply click on it and drag it over to, in this case, area, which is the most reasonable measurement to use as a base for slab on grade. Drop it. We open up the Easy Trace Creation. I will modify this to say basic so we can identify later. And let's change the color. Now, ensure that the Create Extension from Assembly checkbox is unchecked. And start new measurement. If you don't check that, then you can use this as purely a setup tool. However, let's leave it checked. Because of that, watch what happens when I say OK. First, we have immediately created a brand new trace, which now can be used across all projects as part of my library. Also, notice that because I left the checkbox Start New Measurement checked, I now have the cursor in takeoff mode ready to go. So I'm just going to very quickly do a couple measurements here. We've done two measurements using the trace that we just created. Now it's time to send these to the estimating system. Notice on this particular trace, our measurement, area, perimeter, length, and points that we always get from eTakeoff, and our particular area. I'm simply going to take this now and drop it right onto the slab that I want to send it to in the estimating system. Notice now the Bridge system is opened up, the estimating assembly with all of its variables that are needed to be filled in to generate these items. And on this side, we have the information from eTakeoff positioned right here. Here's our 135 square feet for the area. Now I simply need to teach the estimating system how these two parameters relate. So I have area, and I do have an area in the measurement. So I'm going to drop that onto the area, and you notice they go to the same color. Color identifies that these two are linked, mapped together, and this identifies that the area measurement is being used here for that particular variable. Concrete strength, I don't have a concrete strength. I could just fill that in. And the perimeter, I do have a perimeter. So we'll use that perimeter. And a wire mesh size, I can fill that in, whatever I wish to do there. Now I've mapped these variables. All I have to really do is add the pass, which will calculate all of these quantities, and send the result to the estimating system. Now the real power is when I use this, again, this measurement. So I do that same takeoff, that same measurement, drop it onto the same assembly, and notice what Bridge does. Pre-fills all of the variables that it's been taught, that have been mapped, and leaves the rest for you to answer. And then based on what you'd like to answer, you simply calculate the quantities, send to the estimate. As you can see, the basic setup mode can get you going immediately. So after building your first trace on the fly, you'll be able to do future measurements even more quickly.